welcome back to my channel. My name is KitSCHY and this video is gonna be a little bit different from any of the videos I've done before. So I haven't planned anything either. I'm just literally like, I got ready, sat down and was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do for this video today. And as you've probably already read from the title, I'm gonna chat a little bit about my tips and tricks for when you are manning a stall at a craft market or a Comic-Con, or you're just taking your small business to one of these like little markets. You don't know what to bring, you don't know what to expect, this sort of thing. I'm just gonna give you some of my knowledge and my experience, because the first ever craft market I did wasn't great because I had no idea what to expect, didn't know what I was really getting myself into, and hadn't really researched that well into what I was gonna do. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like down below, and leave me a comment down below and let me know if you like this sort of video. Let me know at the end if this is something you've enjoyed and this is something you would like me to talk about more. As I said before, I haven't actually planned out how I want this video to go, haven't planned out everything I want to say in this video. I am just going to talk to you about things that I wish I'd known before I did a craft market. And I have done quite a few now. I have been to Comic-Cons, I have done craft markets that were not right for my business, I've done craft markets that have been just exceptional for my business, and I've done in between craft markets where it wasn't great, it wasn't awful, but you know, it was a craft market, it was something. So I wanted to share with you some things that I think it would have been good to know before I started planning markets, planning my stall, planning where I wanted to go for them, that all of this sort of stuff. Wanted to share that with you, and that's exactly what this video is gonna be. Let's not beat around the bush, let's just get into it. First tip that I wish I'd known before I did any craft markets is research the market that you're going to. If it's a small or a new market, you know, it's going to be kind of difficult to do this sort of thing, but if it's one that's well known or renowned or they host quite a lot of them, do your research about it first, because some markets are not going to suit the type of products that you sell. In my example, I sell very brightly coloured, tacky, colourful jewellery that I would love it to appeal to everybody, but it definitely does not appeal to everybody. And as much as you wish your products would appeal to everybody, that's never going to be the case. And one of the very first markets I did was in a church, and the clientele that were coming to this church were your typical church goers, typically religious people, and generally they were a lot older. It was not the sort of age range of people that I would typically expect to buy my jewellery. So that was one of the first mistakes I made. I think I saw that there was a market and I was like, yeah, let's just apply for it. It's £15 for a table, might as well just go and see how it is. And those didn't do very well, and it was long days for not an awful lot of outcome at the end of the day. But I did learn that I need to research before I go to these markets, even if the fact that the location was a church should have been the first red flag for me that this is not going to be an ideal market for me. I did it, we went there, I completed it, and it was something. But one little thing about this market that made me realize I do need to put a wee bit more time into actually figuring out what sort of markets I want to do is the reactions that I was getting to my jewellery. A lot of people that were coming up to my stall was right at the door as well. Like, as you came in, I had the prime location to have a stall at this market. It was just the wrong products for the wrong type of people that were coming in. Anyways, I was right at the door, and the reactions that I was getting, people immediately saw the pink. And if you haven't seen my stall before, I will put a picture up here so you can see what my stall looks like. The first immediate reaction from people was, wow, that's pink. That's very childlike. This must be a stall that sells children's stuff. Not the case. So that was the first misconception people had just by looking at the aesthetic of my stall. Pink, children. And it's just because it was an older generation of people and that's what they associate with pink. Upon closer inspection, I was getting reactions about the words that I had on my earrings. And if you know KITSCHY or you know my business or you've seen the jewellery that I make, you will know exactly what I'm on about right now. But I have a collection of jewellery that has certain words on it that a certain generation would not see as something that you would want to put on your body or want to wear. I will put a picture of them here and you can make your own judgment of this one. I think they're great, I think they're fun, and I think it's a great way of reclaiming words that were once used as, you know, derogatory terms. Besides the point, the reactions that I was getting from these being out at my table at this market was just not the reaction that I was wanting to get. And there were also children at this market. So that is the very first thing I would ever recommend to you if you're even thinking about doing a market or you want to get involved with craft markets, is research the market that you're going to do, because you want to get one that you're going to see the best outcome for your business, and you're going to be a market where the people there are your clientele, or at least as close to your clientele as you can possibly get, or your target audience. That way you're going to just make more sales, and you're just going to have way more of a successful day, and it will be way more worth your time even doing the rest of the steps and the rest of these tips like going on with it. If it's not a market that's going to bring in an audience that will have people in there that will like the stuff that you're selling, don't do it. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Make sure you're getting one that is just in line with what your business is about. So that is the first tip that I would give you if you are considering starting a market, or not starting a market, if you're considering going to a market. The next tip or like suggestion that I would probably like to have known before I started doing markets is display. So your display is obviously extremely important. You're presenting your entire business at one glance and how it looks, you know, like what people immediately see is what you want to, you know, you're giving off an image. You want to present your brand as best as possible. One thing I would say is, yeah, you want to have a good looking stall, but if this is your first market, do not spend loads of money, loads of time, loads of energy trying to make it look perfect, because your stall is going to continually change, and you will add bits and you'll take bits away and you'll change the purpose of certain things. It'll evolve and it will get better over time. You don't necessarily have, for your very first market, have to throw all of your money at it and make this amazing shop front stall. My stall has been the same now for about a year. I haven't changed very much, but still I change where things are laid out on the table whenever I go to markets, but I'm a way to start changing how my stall looks. I want to do something different with it, so I'm about to start changing mine. And I made a wooden thing. I don't even know what you would call it. It's this big wooden shelf thing that I made from scratch with the help from my dad to hang up all my earrings on it, so I had a big tall display at the side of my table. And now this thing looks great. I think it looks great at my stalls, and I think it works in and it ties in really well with the way that my table looks, and it matches my branding and everything. One thing I hate about it, it's so incredibly heavy, and I have to take about 3 to 4 trips back and forth in between the venue and out of the venue when I am taking all of my stock and taking all of my decorations into a venue for a market, and that takes a lot of time. If you are going to invest money and effort into making a stall, make it collapsible. Create a stall that you can bring down and put back up really easily, really quickly, and somewhere you can store it, because my thing that I have takes up so much space and I can't collapse it. I can't make it any smaller, so I put all of that effort, all of that time into building this thing, and yeah, it looks really, really good with my stall. It's an absolute pain to take anywhere, and it's very heavy, very clunky, can't take it apart to put it back up somewhere else. So make your stall collapsible. You know, if you keep everything color themed, your stall is going to look fine. Just don't have a table and everything's laid out flat on the table. Create some height, create some textures, add some little bowls or trays or something to put your products on. If you sell something that's a bit bigger, use crates, like, you know, the little wooden crates, just to create height up the side of your stall, and that instantly makes it look like you've got more going on than if you were to just flat lay all of your products and everything you're selling on a table. It makes your stall more interesting to look at, and immediately your eyes will be drawn up whatever you have going on at the side. So create height. For your first couple of markets, do not spend loads of money or invest loads of time into building a stall unless you know exactly what you want. I'm not going to tell you not to do something, I'm just recommending that you don't spend loads of money and time building something when your stall and the way that you do these markets, especially if this is something you see yourself doing in the long run, it will change and it'll evolve and you'll stop using things, and then you'll be like, oh, I wish I didn't spend so much money building that or putting that together, or spent all of my time painting that or making that look a certain way because I used it for a month. You see where I'm coming from? Your stall is important. It's important that your stall looks good and it looks appealing. Just don't go overboard. For your first market, just take it easy. Don't make it stress you out wanting to have a storefront looking marketplace. Maybe that's the goal in the long run. My stall isn't even exactly where I want it to be. That is the long run goal, to have it look kind of like a shop front, I guess, and look as professional as a shop front. But everything is a learning curve. The main thing, like, your stall is, you know, you want it to look good, but the main thing that's going to be on your table at these markets is whatever you're selling. Your craft or your jewelry or your prints. That is the most important thing, and you want to draw attention to whatever it is you're selling. Because sometimes at these markets I'll get asked, oh, is that pink neon sign, flamingo neon sign thing for sale? And I'm like, no, I'm selling jewelry. But because I have it on my table, sometimes people think that that is an item that I'm selling, and I have to be like, no, that's just part of my decoration. And that's adding to just conversations you don't really need to be having at markets. So what I'm saying is, make your stall thematic, all follow sort of color scheme, match with what your brand is and what your business values are, but ultimately make sure that it's showing off your products to the best that they can be. Does that make sense? God, I feel like I'm gonna be talking for ages in this video. My next tip is bring food. Bring snacks, especially if you are doing a market by yourself, because these days are long. Some markets I have been up at 4 AM, setup was from 7 or 8, and then I am there from 9 until 5. And if you don't have someone that you know coming to visit you at this market, or you're not going to get the opportunity to leave your stall if it's a really busy market and you physically can't leave, make sure you have water, make sure you have snacks, make sure you have food, you pack a lunch, anything, just make sure you have something to keep your energy levels up. Make sure you eat. I am the absolute worst for doing a full day market and not having anything to eat, and see, by the end of it you feel awful, like you feel absolutely terrible. So if I can recommend anything for these, just shove in a couple of snacks. Even if it's not a full lunch and you get yourself something after you finish, pack enough snacks to kind of keep you going, you know, so you don't get really hungry, because it gets really difficult when you get really hungry, because you just want to go home, you don't want to be there anymore, you just want to pack up your stuff and go and get some food. So make sure you pack some sort of food, some sort of water, you know, just to keep yourself sustained, especially if you don't have friends that are coming to visit you at your market or anyone you know to help. If you can, bring a friend with you, or bring someone who is willing to help you out for the day with you. That's also really helpful. Make sure that you check with the organizers of the event that it's okay for you to have another person there, because in some cases it's not okay, but just make sure that whoever the organizers are quite happy for you to have another person at this market, and at least then you can nip away to the bathroom, you can nip away and sit and have something to eat, and you don't need to sit there by yourself thinking about when the next time you're going to eat or the next time you're going to be able to go to the toilet is. Just make sure you double check with the organizers that they're quite happy for you to have another person there with you. Don't make an assumption that it's just okay. Another little tip, which I kind of think now is more just like, you probably will think of this one yourself, but money, cash and card payments and PayPal, the way that you are going to take money from your customers. I would recommend having a cash box. Do not use a little fanny pack or waist bag. They're just the most frustrating things, especially if you have a queue of people at your stall who are all trying to get something and you're faffing about in this little pocket trying to get someone's change. They're more frustrating and it's more work than it's worth. Get a cash box with a little key and keep your notes and your change in there. It'll be so much easier to just like put money in, take money out, give people change. It's so much easier, trust me. Get a cash box with a little key. Don't use a fanny pack or a waist bag. I don't know, it depends on how busy the stalls are, but I find that they are just way more frustrating to have. Yes, attached to you, but they're just way more frustrating to have. So have a cash box. Secondly, get a card reader. Card readers are pretty affordable now everywhere, I think. Anyway, the one that I have, I think I paid about £20 for. They take a percentage fee every time you make a transaction, but it doesn't add up to too much. So I use SumUp. I have the SumUp, the little small square reader. I'll put a picture of the one that I have up here. I've heard people having issues with SumUp, and I have had issues with SumUp. It obviously runs off of data or Wi-Fi. Wherever it is that you're going, you need to make sure that you're going to have access to a mobile network or to to internet just so that you can actually use it, but your phone connects to these through Bluetooth. I've had issues with SumUp and trying to connect to my card reader, but it connecting to another vendor, especially when I've been at Comic-Cons, because there are a lot of people that have the same type of card readers, and it'll be trying to charge someone all the way over another stall because it's only managed to find that one. So yeah, these things are good, but they don't come without their frustrations. And I'm not entirely sure if there's any that are slightly better on the market than SumUp. I know you get Square readers, iZettle, and I think PayPal has one as well. I haven't done an awful lot of research into what the best type of these are. I bought mine off on a whim in like 2019 or something. The day before, or 2 days before my very first market, I bought one because I was like, oh, card payments, how am I going to take card payments? I would just recommend getting one, even if it is just the cheapest one that's on the market. Each time a transaction goes through, they will charge you a fee, and with SumUp, I think I get the payouts the Monday. If I do a weekend, it's like the Monday after, but they'll send me the full payment of all the transactions that went through minus the fee that they take for using their platform. But I would recommend having one because most people don't carry cash anymore. A lot of markets people will take cash to them, but a lot of the times they limit themselves to how much they want to spend, and then they'll maybe see something at your stall and be like, oh, I wish I had enough money, do you take card? That's when you want to have a card reader. And another method of payment, which I think I've only ever taken one payment through this, but I have the option there anyway, is PayPal. So I printed off a little, it was just like a little sheet that has a QR code for my PayPal, and that QR code, when you scan it, it takes you to the paypal.me page for my KITSCHY account. If they wish, if they don't have their card on them, or they don't have like Apple Pay or something like that, they can make a payment through PayPal. It's just another option that costs you nothing to have there. All you need to do is print out a sheet of paper with your QR code on it, and if they want to pay through PayPal, you can take a payment through PayPal. Easy as that. So I definitely recommend doing that just as another option in case, you know, payments aren't working or just literally anything going wrong. It's good to have another option there. And finally, let me have a drink. Finally, now that we're like talking about cash, make sure that you have a big enough float. So it depends on what you sell, it depends on the price of what you're selling and how much money you're kind of expecting to make or expecting to like take with you. Always make sure that you've got £5 notes, £10 notes, and maybe just like, depending on how expensive your products are, maybe 1 or 2 £20 notes. I never take any £20 notes because I'm never going to need them as change. If you have more expensive products that are in the more 20, 30, 40 price range, take enough of each note and make sure that you're taking enough pound coins. Pound coins are always the one that I've noticed, especially at Comic-Cons. Everybody always runs out of pound coins really quickly. I've run out of pound coins at Comic-Cons and markets before. Make sure you take enough pound coins. 50p's and 20p's as well if you need them, and smaller change again if it's something that you need. I never really use anything smaller than a 20p. If you need it, just make sure that you have enough change. You have a big enough float that's going to keep you going for the whole day. Oh my god, I feel like I've been talking for ages and I kind of feel like I've covered only really 3 things. So I think what I might do is turn this into more of a series, just like talking about things. I'll cover a couple more things in this video, but I feel like I'm maybe going to turn this into more of a like market, Comic-Con, vendor tips and tricks video rather than trying to squeeze everything I want to talk about into this one video. Okay. This one's important for many different things. Make sure you leave in the morning or the afternoon, whenever your market is. Make sure you leave with a fully charged phone. But not only a fully charged phone, 1 or 2 fully charged battery packs as well. You will thank me for this, just trust me. Take battery packs, and I know you get some good ones. I always take 2 battery packs because mine don't last the whole day, especially if you have a card reader. You're going to need those battery packs to make sure either your card reader or your phone is charged the whole day so that you don't miss out on sales because your phone died or your card reader died. They will come in so handy. I can't even begin to express how many times I've used a battery pack at a market or a Comic-Con and how handy they've been. Also, when you're at markets that are a little bit more quieter, you're not getting quite as much footfall as, you know, like some of the really busy ones, you're gonna sit on your phone and you're gonna use your phone to pass the time. Make sure that you have something to charge it, because not always will you have access to a plug socket, and don't ever assume that where you are going to be placed is going to have access to a plug socket. 9 times out of 10 there is not one near you, and the closest ones are like miles down a hall or on the other side of the room that you're in. So take battery packs. I don't know what else to talk about because I didn't plan this one very well. I'm trying to think of another point. Maybe I will give you one more point for now, and then in the next video we can talk about some more, okay? I will think about it for next time. I'm actually going to do a bit more for this video rather than sit down in front of my camera and be like, right, talk about tips and tricks for something, but think of them all off the top of your head. My next one would be to take bags and something for your customers to put whatever they purchase from you in, because you don't want them to turn up later and be like, oh, I dropped it while I was walking around the other stalls and I don't know where it is. Could you give me another one, please? Because then that's just going to cut into your profit and your sales. I use little sweetie candy stripe bags and they work perfectly for me because they match the aesthetic of my business. They fit in what I am selling and they just look cute. Candy stripe bags are always a good option. You can get craft carrier bags, you can get little plastic carrier bags, bags with little handles. Whatever it is that you're selling, you'll be able to figure out what type of carrier bag's going to be best for that. Get something that you can offer, even if they don't take it. It's something that you can offer to your customers at a market for them to safely look after whatever it is that they're buying from you. And also taking a box with scissors, sellotape, maybe glue, pins, needles, depending on what it is you sell, just a little emergency kit of things that you might potentially need. Scissors, sellotape and glue are always something that someone at a market is going to need that, and you'll just be the little hero of the market. Even if you don't need it that day, you'll be the one that was like, oh yeah, Kit had sellotape that day and I really needed it. Really grateful that she had sellotape. I have a little box that has a pen, it has scissors, it has stickers, it has, what else does it have in it? It has pins. I never take glue with me anywhere because I don't need glue, but I could put glue in it, and it's just a little box of things that I may not need but I might need, and it's just good to have there. Okay, I think I've gone through about 5 tips and I don't feel like they were in any particular order. I've just kind of rambled. If you're away to do your first market, hopefully there was something in there that you didn't realize, or you're able to take something from this video and apply it to whatever market that you're doing next. I will make more videos talking about market stuff because it's something I really enjoy doing, and it's something that like I want to talk about, and obviously I can talk about it because I spoke for 20 minutes about 5 points and I feel like I could have fitted so much more in there. I feel like I've covered important things to think about for your first market, or even just your next market if this was a video you were watching just to kind of get clued up on what to do next. Hopefully there was something in here that you can take from this video. Enough talking from me. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to hit the like button. Comment down below and let me know any of your tips or tricks that you have if you happen to do markets and stuff as well, or anything that you think would just be good for someone who is doing a market to know. And finally, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!